Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, we're completing the trilogy today. I've already done my Legendary review. I've done my Epic Champion review. Today we're going to do all of the rares reviewed. Literally like a 15-second review. The Undead then. So again, lots of rares here. Bit of a mixed bag. Banshee then. Banshee is actually pretty good across the board. Apart from Clan Boss, I'd rate her as reasonable champion. Put her in a stun set. She's got plenty of AoEs going on. So she'll stun up a ton. AoE decreased defense, not bad for faction wars. And AoE chance to remove random buffs from targets. Pretty good for places like the arena. Pretty good for places like Dragon if you're trying to get through apothecary waves and you want to clean off the speed. So all round good champion. Temptress, pretty much trash. If you do pair her with Seducer, she gets slightly better. Not bad, I guess, for faction wars. Chance to steal some buffs and a leech. The leech is quite nice actually for faction wars to keep your team alive. So yeah, other than that, no good. Frozen Banshee, top tier rare, but real specialist like Dragon and Clan Boss specialist. Because you will likely get her to 60, you might bring her in your faction war team, but she's not good there. She's also not too bad there. One thing I would say, so her poison on the faction war boss, I think it's the 21 boss. I think it's the boss where every time you hit the boss, he gains turn meter. Poison does not trigger the turn meter gain. So if you stack out a load of poisons on the boss, you're not going to trigger a load of turn meter gain, which can be quite nice, and it does a lot of damage. Grave Chill then partners really, really well with Frozen Banshee. In her own right, not bad as well. Again, Clan Boss and Dragon specialist because of her poisons and decreased defense. Sorceress then. Sorceress pretty much trash. A little bit of faction war utility and finite utility. So decreased speed, double hitter, triple hitter. Pretty good for finites. Grinner, underrated I'd say. Mainly used in... He's got some utility which can help him in Clan Boss, but mainly useful in faction wars where you've got this revive 2 champions. Wretch, straight out trash. Bone Knight, a little bit of use in Clan Boss, a little bit of use in Finites because of these 2 debuffs. That's about it. Rotting Mage, straight out rubbish. Ghoulish Ranger, pretty much terrible. He does have a little bit of use in faction wars because of this leech and an HP burn. You might use him early game in Clan Boss just for this, but I wouldn't level him out for that. Corpulent Cadaver, pretty bad across the board. He does have a shield ability. He does have a provoke. You might use him in arena, I guess, but pretty much wouldn't bother. Arbalester, wouldn't bother. Doomscreech, actually a good rare. One of the unsung heroes from this faction. He has got decreased accuracy here. He's got a big version increased defense and turn meter boost. If you pair him with defensive champions, this is actually a really good ability. It makes him hit harder and you boost their turn meter. So if you're looking for a turn meter booster for an arena team and you pair them with defensive champions to make them hit harder, he's actually one of the best out there. AoE attack here and places a shield on himself, which is not bad as well. But yeah, mainly I'd say arena and general utility kind of anywhere in the game. Hollow, yeah. So we've got poison for A1, so it's going to be useful for Dragon. 4 hitter here as well with decreased turn meter. Kind of nice. Each hit decreases the target's turn meter by 5%. So 20% decreased turn meter for something like a faction war boss or something like Finites is quite nice. 2-turn cooldown as well, really short cooldown. And then ignore defense as well. So yeah, actually a bit underrated this guy. Pretty good for faction war, pretty good for Finites. Seducer, good champion, kind of across the board. He was the reason I beat Undead Hordes 21, even though I got a ton of legendaries. So put him into the team. Full team, increased defense and block debuffs. For the bosses, this ability is huge. It's huge. You don't want those stuns. You don't want those fears. You don't want the HP burns, all that sort of stuff. So really good champion. Good base defense as well. He's also got an AoE decreased attack, which is useful. So you can play him in Spider, you can play him in Dragon, you can play him in Faction Wars, and he will be solid in all of those. He's also not bad for Clan Boss, to be fair. Stitch Beast then. Stitch Beast, pretty much got a double hitter. He's got a weaken, and he's got a target, a turn meter reduction. So can be used in Spider, can be used in Fire Knight, and good for Faction Wars. The Skeleton then used to be the thing that slowed down the game. Heal reduction on his A2. He's got an increased defense just for himself. He's pretty bad, really. Arantine, pretty trash. The Bloat Wraith. Bloat Wraith, what we got here? A little bit of arena utility with a stun. AoE decreased defense and fear. Actually good for the arena and good for Faction Wars with this ability. And the self-heal. Yeah, not bad. Not bad. Okay, moving on then. So Lizardmen. Let's go. Most of these are terrible. Right, let's start with Muck Stalker, trash. Skink, trash. Gator, a little bit of Dragon utility and Spider utility because of the cleanse here. Sliverbrute, trash. Bogwalker, not bad for early game Clan Boss with the big decreased attack here. Also defensive stats are nice. AoE or full team increased defense and reflect damage for all allies when attacked with a crit. This is kind of a weird passive, but generally not a bad champ. Skullsworn, pretty much terrible unless you pair him with his dad. Hurler is trash. Flinger is trash. Slasher, trash. Metal Shaper. Okay, we got someone who can do something. Still buffs, not bad. Shield for all allies, not bad. And cleanse for an ally and heal. And puts increased defense on that target. This is actually quite nice. So nice for Spider. Nice utility for Faction Wars. So generally, like reasonable rare. Haruspex, this one is good. So Haruspex, good rare across the board. Speed in all battles. Speed in the arena. Revive, really good for Faction Wars and Dragon. Fills turn meter and increased speed for the whole team. And poison. So everything he's doing is like the weak version, but he can be used anywhere in the game and it'll be reasonable utility. Strong for early game arena. Great at any game level of Faction Wars. You probably need him, in fact, for your Faction War team. And pretty good for Dragon as well. Okay, that was a quick one. Let's move on to Skinwalkers then. Skinwalkers, again, not that many in this faction, and even less good ones. So, let's go. Greybeard, actually, I'm lying. The rares here, there's not many, but they're not too bad. AoE freeze for a rare is a great ability, and he's defense-based. So, Greybeard, really good ability here on his A2. He's also got counter-attack for himself and shield. The shield value is proportional to defense, and it cannot be removed. That's kind of nice. So yeah, use him as a general kind of carry for dungeons. Pretty good. Great for Faction Wars. Great for Spider as well. AoE freeze in Spider, kind of broken. Fleshmonger, you almost need this guy for your Faction War team. There's a real lack of decreased defense in this faction. He's got it on an AoE. He's in my endgame Faction War team. Crazy. That's his main use. So he does bring increased attack and crit as well, and a triple hitter, kind of good for Fire Knights. But yeah, Faction War MVP for this faction. Blood Painter, he does have AoE decreased accuracy, so you might use him for Spider and Dragon. And he's got a poison as well in his A1, so kind of good for Dragon actually. Fills turn meter of all allies except himself and increased attack. All of his kit's good. All of his kit is actually good for like early to mid game. Nullhorn, this guy could be an end game champion. Really good champion. I'd literally rate him like 5 for Dragon, 5 for Ice Golem, 5 for Faction Wars. AoE provoke, he places it so he can't get a weak hit anywhere. Puts increased defense on himself at the same time. And he makes himself unkillable on his next move. 3-turn cooldown here. 3-turn cooldown here if you book him out. This guy is like a mini Umbral. Really good champion. Channeler, a little bit of Fire Knight utility here with this. That's it really. Pretty much terrible. Grappler, terrible. hold on a minute. What have I said here? 4 for Fire Knight. Why am I saying that? Double hitter, and shields with poison. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. So for Fire Knight, not too bad. Bloodhorn, terrible. And that is those done. So let's move on to Orcs then. Orcs have got a ton of rares. Are any of them any good? Let's have a look. Not really. So Death Chanter is total rubbish. Chopper, totally rubbish. Gaelic is good. One of the starter champions. He's got a 4-hitter decreased defense. Actually pretty good for this faction. Unless you've got Zardgala, you're going to struggle with decreased defense in Faction Wars. So useful there. Across the board, he's like 3s and 4s. He's got an AoE which hits hard. He's got a double hitter here. So yeah, I'd say he is best in the arena and Faction Wars, but also kind of good for Fire Knights. Spikehead, don't waste your time. Ironclad, don't waste your time. Goremask, total trash. Tree Fella, total trash. Twin Claw is terrible. Raider, I've said Faction Wars are 3. Why is that? AoE decreased speed. Okay, AoE decreased speed and a bit of stun utility. Speed in Faction Wars. Yeah, okay. So not bad for Faction Wars. That's about it. Totem. Again, not bad for Faction Wars. Bit of a poison. Chance to steal some buffs and puts heals out for your team. AoE weak, decreased defense. So again, if you're struggling for decreased defense for this faction, that's where you'd be bringing her in for. So Wyvernbane then, one of the newer ones, actually got some good utility for Faction Wars with a decreased speed and a turn meter decrease. That's about it really. Maybe for Spider as well, like if you're really struggling for turn meter control champions. Veteran then, he's become a bit of a meme for me, but he's got a really good clan boss decrease attack here. He's also got increased crit rate for your team and block buffs. So block buffs against Faction Wars for waves is actually really good. It's also pretty good for sort of general dungeon content. It brings a speed in dungeons aura as well. He's generally like an okay early game rare. Huntress then. Huntress trash. Ripper Fist. Again, I think one of the new ones. Pretty much only going to give you utility in Fire Knights. But he does have double hitter, triple hitter, and then he's got this passive which increases attack every time and reduces the cooldown of Rip to Shreds every time his health drops below 50%, which is kind of nice. So you get this triple hitter with heal reduction back, which is good for Fire Knights. He's got very low defense though, so he's quite difficult to keep alive. And that is it for the Orcs. So where were we now? Did we do Demonspawn? I don't think we did. On to Demonspawn then. Let's keep this going. Let's keep it going, guys. It's a marathon, this one. So, Diabolist, good rare. Good rare. A farmable from stage 12. Great for Faction Wars for this faction. Going to be useful kind of anywhere in the game. I put mine in a stun set because she's got this AoE hitter, which also puts your speed up. And she's got some turn meter control. Good rare. Good for Spider. Good for Fire Knights. Good for Faction Wars. One of the MVPs for this faction for Faction Wars, I'd say. Tormentor, pretty bad. Straight out bad, yeah. Houndspawn is bad. Hellfang, bad. The only place they're good is together. Hellfang does have this AoE chance to freeze. If they're together, this is great for Spider, but chances are they're not. Marquez, trash. Ifrit, trash. I said okay for Clan Boss because of weak source weaken and weak source decrease attack and weak source decrease defense. So only got 3 debuffs in one. So I guess for Clan Boss, if he's struggling for debuffs, he's not bad, but yeah, they're all weak versions. Marquez sounds the same as the other one. Actually a bit better. So we've got decreased speed, we've got counter attack on himself, and an AoE sleep. So this could be quite nice for Faction Wars and for general kind of wave control if you've got a load of single target hitters. If you've got more AoE hitters in the team, forget this guy and move on with your life. Fellhound then, probably one of the best for this faction, or the best. AoE ability on his A1 with a chance to put decreased speed out. Heals and reflect damage on his A2. This is great for Fire Knight. Like he's a is an MVP for Fire Knight as a rare. Because every time they hit that reflect damage, the shield drops a level. So whole team have it on, the shield drops by 5 levels. He also puts a block damage on the leader for 1 turn whenever this is available. Can be a campaign farmer, can be good pretty much in any dungeon, and very good for Fire Knight. Malblanche. Malblanche is trash, and that is the Demon Spawns. So we're done Undead. We're on to Dark Elves now. Dark Elves, again, feels like Undead and Dark Elves are massive favourites in this game. They always like to put as many champions in each of those as they can. It's almost like the artists for Dark Elves and Undead work full-time, and the artists for every other faction do 1 day a week. So let's have a look. Who we got? Judge. Most of these are actually not too bad. So what's going on here? Bit of turn meter fill in his A2, AoE ability, and then this kind of weird passive. With each hit, there's a chance for one of these things to land. Because of this, he can bring you a bit of utility, but it's all random. But yeah, like 2s and 3s out of 5, I'd say. Kale, great champion. Even into the later game, he's got multiple poison hit. He's got an AoE hit. He hits hard. He can be good in the arena, good in Dragon, good in Clan Boss, good in Faction Wars. Great champ. Mystic Hand only really got viability in Faction Wars because of block buffs here, because of chance to steal buffs off people, and he's got this heal. This is also good for something like Magic Keep. Still Bowyer, just terrible champ. Yes, the Spirit Host generally kind of strong utility across the game up until the mid game. Speed in all battles is nice. You've got block debuffs. This is good for Faction Wars, good for Dragon, good for Spider. Increase attack. It's all kind of like okay abilities. She'll do you good for the up to mid game and maybe in Faction Wars. Hexweaver bought the wrong dress. She bought the one that was way too short. Shame on you, Hexweaver. She works the night, but other than that, she's trash. Wanderer, trash. Coldheart, MVP, Spider, MVP, Fire Knights. Strong in Faction Wars as well. Full turn depletion here. 100% turn meter depletion. AoE, decreased accuracy, and a heal reduction. 4 hitter here. She's just like really, really solid. Paragon. The Paragon cheese comes to mind. He's the guy who's going to get you through Nightmare Campaign. Check out my recent video on that I did. I can link that below. But yeah, other than that, he's kind of funky. He's got a 2-turn cooldown unkillable that he puts on someone. I know Saffron Man uses him for kind of like arena battling, but other than that, I don't really see a use for him. I'll say that. The Paragon Cheese also works. Check out my video called The Paragon Cheese. Also works on Spider if you just cannot get through a level. So if you're stuck on Spider 19, you can make this guy the Spiderling target for the whole fight. So he's got his uses, but only as a meme joke setup. Retainer, a bit of... What have I got him in here for this for? I've got him as like a bit of a arena champion. I guess mainly because he can stay alive. Got self counter attack, decreased defense. But yeah, like 2s and 3s, I'd say. Eviscerator. Got some poison, got some decreased defense. If you're struggling for AoE decreased defense, then Faction Wars, she might come in for you. That's about it. Painkeeper, really, really useful rare. Part of the budget unkillable comp, so if you put her with a Man-Eater, fantastic. General utility anywhere in the game, though, any dungeon, she's going to be good. And for Faction Wars, she's going to be good. She's got a heal here. She's got to reduce the cooldown of all of your ally skills by a turn, so you get your abilities back quicker. Just kind of nice. Good champion. Harvester, trash. And that is it for that faction. So we are on to Night Revenants. 2 to go. Let's do this. 2 more. Stay with me, guys. If you're still here, well done. Because this is literally like a slog. What are we on here? Night Revenants. Okay. Executioner used to be the champion to build. He's still not bad, actually. And for Faction Wars, actually good. Actually good. So he's got a stun A1. He's got an AoE decreased turn meter and decreased speed A2. This is great for Spider. It's great for Faction Wars as well. He's also got a self, increased defense and counterattack. Solid stats apart from his speed. Okay, champ. Thirdest, part of the Razin fusion. That's about as good as she gets. Magus is terrible. Coffin Smasher, out and out. Yeah, just an out and out clan boss champion. Doesn't really factor anywhere else, but decrease attack A1, and it's a really good chance for it to land. HP burn A2, good champion for that. Arcanist, straight out trash. Gladiator, pretty good for faction wars, and not bad for like Dragon and Spider. So decrease attack and speed on an A1. Stun here, AoE here, mainly faction wars, I'd say. Acolytes, actually strong champion. So he's got 75% chance of decreasing targets turn meter by 50%. Good for Spider, good for Finite, great in faction wars. He's got a full cleanse on an A3 as well. So for Dragon, Spider, Finite, faction wars, all good places for this to play. Good champion. Guardian, only really a faction war champion, but block buffs is always strong. Block debuffs is very strong as well, but it's only on himself. So Crimson Slayer, good for Finite with a triple hitter and a turn meter drop and a heal reduction. So all of that kit is Finite, Finite, Finite. Also good for faction wars. Renegade, kind of like a mini Kaimar. Great for fast dungeon running. So she's got this ability to reduce your cooldown by 2 turns on all skills. So if you're running her with someone like Royal Guard slams, she goes next, resets the Royal Guard, he slams again. Really good abilities. Also got heal reduction and decreased speed at random, decreased accuracy at random. So just generally good for Dragon, Spider, all dungeons, and faction wars. Daywalker, straight out arena champion. He has got... What's he got here? Oh, this is it, yeah. So if he dies, revives his champion with 30% HP and attacks all enemies after being killed. So there's some utility you can do here with him to just make him hit really hard, make him like a complete wet fish, let him go down, let him get back up again and slam the enemy. Centurion, pretty much trash. Cultist is not even a rare. Ooh, just the dwarves to go then, guys. Just the dwarves. There's quite a lot of dwarves. Tons of dwarves. I don't know why they've picked so many dwarves up and made so many of them bad. When they clearly need more support in better areas of the game. But here we go. Grumbler. Grumbler, pretty bad across the board. Got ally protection, so you might use him in clan boss. You might use him in faction wars. Runic Warder. Runic Warder is actually really good. So double hitter, reflect damage. So that screams to me Finite. It's basically like an MVP rare for Finite and reasonable for faction wars as well. Stout Axeman is pretty bad across the board. Does have reflect damage, but it's only on himself. Terrible champ. Cudgeler, trash champion. Okay, so Avir the Alchmage. Alchemage. He is good. He's good champion. So good for Dragon, good for clan boss, good for Spider, good for faction wars. Poison here, AoE decrease attack and speed here, and fill turn meter here, and a heal at the same time. Really, really solid abilities. And for dwarves who struggle for healing big time, he will actually be in a lot of people's dwarves faction war team. Beast Wrestler, pretty bad. I've put him as a reasonable champion for Ice Golem because of this ability. You've got to hope it lands and kills the ads. That's kind of all you're preying on. The rest of his kit, pretty bad. Honor Guard, again, pretty bad. You might have some utility for him because of this block buffs and still targets for faction wars if you need him. Perforator, straight out terrible. The Law Keeper, again, one of the newer ones. I think it's pretty bad, really. You might find some utility for him in faction wars because of the heals. If they've got less than 100% HP, puts block debuffs out there. That's kind of nice for bosses in faction wars, actually. But that's about it. Madman. Hits hard. Pretty hard hitter. Good for the arena. Master and fairly good. People tell me fairly good for faction wars. I've not tried him myself. Heals for percentage of the damage he does and ignores defense. So I guess for faction war bosses and for the waves, he's going to be doing some nukage. He's got himself a sleeve. I like it. Cool. Right, Master Butcher. Master Butcher, pretty much terrible. Hatchet Slinger, terrible. Glorial, terrible. We're on a roll. Bulwark, faction war specialist. So he basically can extend debuffs every time he gets a hit. 30% chance for that to happen. Got HP burn as well, and he's got a weaken. So all of his kit is faction is clan boss. If you pair him with someone like Vizier or someone who spreads buffs on Spider, this could be quite nice as well. You hit the main Spider with HP burn, and then someone spreads that buff to or debuff to all of the other Spiderlings, and you've got yourself an AoE HP burn out of nowhere. Painsmith is terrible. Dildril is awesome. Awesome, rare. Single target decreased speed is kind of nice. AoE decreased accuracy. Again, for all the reasons I've said already. Spider, Dragon, Ice Golem, Fire Knight, Faction Wars, all those places where you don't want to be taking those debuffs, he can help you stop that with this move. He's also got a 3-hitter decreased defense, which is cool for boss fights as well. Like this guy. And that is it, guys. Wow. Long video. I'll section it out so you can pick out the bits you want. That is the trilogy completed. Stay tuned. Look out for my website. It is coming soon. I've been Hell Hades. I'll catch you later.